Hello, Paul. I was just saying, though, Sarah, I think that Piers has done Charles, Catherine and the entire royal family a favour. I think they'll be heaving a sigh of relief. Thank God the speculation's over, and these revelations that it's Charles and Kate, as I say, they're so absurd, it undermines the very allegation itself. Thanks for joining us, Paul. Talk TV at the moment seems to be just about the only media outlet that's talking about Charles and Kate, the Princess of Wales. But Piers has revealed this in the public interest. And I think he's got a case for that. Why on earth should the Dutch people be all talking about it, allowed to talk about it, and the British people, who in the end pay for the royal family, are not allowed to talk about it? This was a perfectly justified journalistic move, was it not?
Well, I don't know why it is that the Dutch people got to see a version of this book that apparently named the two royals. It seems to me like it was more a question of cock-up rather than conspiracy. It's important to say that Omid Scobie said originally that the UK laws prevent me from naming who these royals are. Now, that would tend to indicate that he did say who the royals were. They took advice on it and decided when they legaled the book that it was not going to be sensible to name the royals in the book for fear of defamation claims. So I don't think there's anything in the fact that the Dutch know and we didn't, although we do know now. It's interesting, as you rightly say, Kevin, that the only TalkTV have revealed the names so far, and I think that was a decision you made sometime this morning, actually. So we'll have to see where this goes. But I really don't think there's a lot in the fact the Dutch. I think that is a cock-up.
I mean, where does the threat of litigation come from at this point? Is it from Omid Scobie, who might be wrongfully accused of deliberately leaking these names in the public domain? We've heard suggestions, so it's never really happened before, that the royal family themselves might be considering libel action. And of course, we know that Harry and Meghan are not unfamiliar with taking newspapers to court. Interestingly, of course, Meghan Markle over the publication of what she said was a private letter. And in theory, these two names being part of, again, a private letter that she wrote.
Well, the first issue that's going to have to be addressed by anyone that considers taking legal proceedings, whoever that happens to be, and the obvious persons are the royals who have been named, is that they're going to have to draft or come up with a defamatory meaning for what is being said. In other words, that the statement that's been made would lead to the ordinary person thinking worse of that, of the claimant, that would be the person bringing the claim, and that the statement caused or was likely to cause damage to their reputation. That's the challenge that anyone bringing proceedings would have. Who would bring them? Well, obviously. And this is certainly, as I understand, what has been reported, that royal sources are saying that the Buckingham Palace are considering all options, whatever that means. And it's interesting, Kevin, with your analysis of what this all means that you've gone through, it sort of indicates how difficult trying to arrive at that defamatory meaning will be.
That's it, Paul. That's the point, isn't it? This is all about nuances. Now, if you were defending Charles and Kate, I would suggest that it would revolve around this. If they did, I don't believe they probably did speculate, but if somebody says, Harry's married Meghan and she's pregnant and, I wonder what colour the baby will be, because obviously it's mixed race parentage, that's not racist. But if, as has been suggested, concern was expressed over the colour of the future baby, then that would indicate a kind of level of racism. So these are the kind of small nuances that this saga revolves around, aren't they?
No, they are, and it sort of indicates the potential difficulties with any proceedings that might be issued or any threat of proceedings being made. and possibly the reason why no proceedings will be issued. But I do think you've got to ask the question about why the publishers initially, and when the book was published, decided that that the names would not be put out there. So someone's considered the legal position in relation to that and decided that it would, from a legal point of view, not be sensible to do that. That I think is notable.
But in terms of this, if there was, I think it'd be unlikely that the royal family would pursue a defamation case. I don't think it's going to add anything on their side to improve the situation for them, because surely if that did happen, it would end up with royals essentially in the dock having to explain what really went on.
Well, they'd be in the witness box, not the dock, Alex, but...
No, sorry, you know what I mean. I'm afraid my legalese isn't up to scratch, but the royals in court in the witness box having to explain
defendant, accused, it doesn't matter.
Guilty, not guilty, who cares?
No, it's just quite funny because a lot of witnesses regard themselves as feeling like defendants when they end up in the witness box. So it's a sort of common mistake that's made. And of course, all it's going to do if they were to issue proceedings would be to just magnify this story even more. And so, there's a lot of very good reasons for not doing anything, letting it sort of take its course and become a story that's in the past. So we'll just have to see where that goes.
I would say, Paul, that it seems to me, as a journalist of some experience, I've been around a few years, that the public interest argument here is very interesting. That often in legal cases, if a journalist or a newspaper or a TV channel, radio station decide that it is overwhelmingly in the public interest, that can override all other concerns, can it not? And I would suggest that naming these two royals who've been speculated about now for about 2 years, it's not fair on them, not fair on the rest of the family, and not fair on the British public who pay for the royal family. I would suggest this is an instance of overriding public interest.
Yeah, you rightly point out, Kevin, that the defence, it would appear that would be run. Apart from whether it's true or not, and of course that I suspect is going to have a lot to do with the sources of the story. Would be that it was it was a publication in the public interest. Of course, what that would then raise is, okay, what are the sources? Are they credible? Also, any attempts that were made to verify the truth of the statement, and whether any effort was made to get comment from the two individuals. So it's not a straightforward defence to run, and in a way, we've sort of talked about the difficulties of bringing the proceedings. I don't know that it would be necessary. It would be not straightforward to defend them either if they were brought.
Thank you ever so much for joining us, Paul Gilbert. And I think I'm in the dock for...
I've done it myself.
It's always happens, doesn't it? Live television.
I said it about Harry when he was testifying in London court. I kept saying he was in the dock. Of course, he's not in the dock, he's on the stand. Very important.
Interesting, though, when you think about William, he sort of breaks that royal protocol, doesn't he, of never explain, never complain. Because the one time he has turned around and said to a journalist, given his side of the story, he turned and said, this family is not racist, something to that end.
Yeah, we're not a racist family.
Yeah, now this allegation is against his wife. It'll be interesting to see if he feels emboldened or compelled to maybe himself drop a comment somewhere.
Can I just say, when William says we're not a racist family, surely everyone in Britain absolutely accepts what he says. I've never seen, for all the faults of the royal family, I've never seen a single instance of the current members of the royal family being remotely racist. Philip had his moments, but they were kind of humorous.
Oh, Phil.
He did have his moments.
He had his moments.
But shall we say he was a man of his time.